Imagine, just for a moment, going to bed tonight and not opening your eyes again until the sun comes up tomorrow morning. 7, maybe 8 hours of unbroken, deep, restorative sleep. No stumbling to the bathroom in the dark, no struggling to fall back asleep. If you are over 60, you have probably been told that waking up multiple times a night, a condition known as Nocturia, is just a normal part of aging. Or perhaps you've been told you simply have a small bladder. I want to start this video by destroying that myth right now. In the vast majority of cases, the size of your bladder is not the problem. The problem is the pressure being placed on it. We live in a society that loves a quick fix. We go to the doctor, we get a prescription, and we hope a pill will solve 20 or 30 years of habits. But we need to have an honest conversation today. We need to stop blindly taking pills for symptoms that are actually caused by our lifestyle. We have to take responsibility. We have to admit, yes, I sit too much. Yes, I spend too much time watching TV. Yes, my hips are tight because I stopped moving them. When you sit all day, the muscles in your pelvis become rigid. They lock up, and a rigid, tight pelvis acts like a corset, squeezing your bladder and tricking your brain into thinking you need to go, even when the tank is barely full. That is not a medical disease. That is a mechanical problem. But here's the good news. Because it's a mechanical problem, it has a mechanical solution. You can fix this. You don't need surgery, and you might not even need that medication. You just need to unlock the tension that is crushing your system. Today is the day you stop accepting poor sleep as your destiny. Today is the day we reset your body. We're going to do a safe 10-minute routine specifically designed to relax the pelvic floor and stop those nighttime urges. Let's get to work. Exercise number 5. Decompression, knee to chest release. We're going to start with the most critical area for seniors, the lower back and the psoas muscle. This is your safety signal. Lie flat on your back. If you need a pillow under your head for comfort, that is perfectly fine. Now, gently bring your right knee toward your chest and hold it there with your hands. If your knee hurts, hold the back of your thigh instead. While you hold this pose, I want to explain the science of why this works for your bladder. You are currently stretching the psoas muscle on the opposite side, the leg that is straight on the ground. The psoas is a deep core muscle that connects your spine to your legs, but it also shares connective tissue with your kidneys and your bladder. When you sit for hours, driving, watching news, reading, the psoas gets short and tight. A tight psoas literally pushes into your bladder space, reducing its capacity. By lengthening this muscle now, we are giving your bladder the real estate it needs to fill up completely without triggering an early alarm. Focus on your breathing here. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale very slowly through your mouth. This slow exhale stimulates the vagus nerve. This is the master switch of your nervous system. When you are stressed or in pain, your bladder gets twitchy and overactive. By engaging the vagus nerve, we are telling the bladder muscle, the detrusor, to relax and store urine, rather than contracting to expel it. Let's switch legs. Gently lower the right, and bring the left knee in. Notice if your shoulders are creeping up toward your ears. Drop them. Relax your jaw. There's a direct neurological connection between your jaw tension and your pelvic floor tension. If you're grinding your teeth, you're likely clenching your pelvis. Let it all go. Feel the lower back flattening against the surface. This decompression of the lumbar spine also frees up the nerves that control bladder function. We are mechanically signaling to your body that the day is over, the stress is gone, and it's safe to sleep. Exercise number 4. The adductor release, recline butterfly. Now, bring both feet flat onto the better mat with your knees bent. We're moving into the recline butterfly. Gently let your knees fall open to the sides, bringing the soles of your feet together. If you feel any strain in your hips, please put a pillow under each knee for support. We're not trying to win a flexibility contest here. The goal is release, not stretch. We're targeting the adductor muscles, the inner thighs. For people over 60, these muscles are often chronically tight to help with balance and stability. But here's the secret. The adductors attach directly to the pubic bone. When they're tight, they constantly tug on the pelvic floor, creating a background noise of tension that your brain interprets as urgency. Place your hands on your lower belly. Visualize the pelvic bowl. It's a basin of muscles. As you inhale, imagine that breath traveling all the way down and expanding the pelvis like a balloon. As you exhale, imagine the tension melting into the mattress. This posture increases blood flow to the prostate in men and the reproductive organs in women. This fresh blood flow helps flush out inflammation. Inflammation is a key driver of nocturia. By reducing inflammation before bed, we reduce the frequency of those wake-up calls. Stay here for a moment. This is about switching from the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, to the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. You cannot force your body to sleep. You can only invite it. This pose is that invitation. Exercise number 3, nerve gliding, the lazy figure 4. Slowly, use your hands to help close your knees together. Never rush out of a hip opener. We're moving to the lazy figure 4 to address the nerves. Keep your left foot on the bed and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Now, instead of pulling the legs toward you, simply use your right hand to gently press your right knee away from you. You should feel this in the outer hip and buttock. This targets the piriformis muscle. Why does this matter for your bathroom trips? Because a tight piriformis can compress the sciatic nerve and the pudendal nerve. The pudendal nerve is the main nerve that goes to the bladder and the pelvic floor. When it gets irritated by tight hip muscles, it sends false signals to the brain. You wake up thinking you have a full bladder, you rush to the bathroom, and then almost nothing comes out. That's called urgency frequency. It wasn't a volume issue, it was a nerve irritation issue. This movement calms that nerve down. To make this even more effective, add a tiny rhythmic rock side to side, just an inch. This micro movement is incredibly soothing to the central nervous system. It mimics the sensation of being rocked as an infant, which biologically lowers cortisol levels. Let's switch sides. Right foot down, left ankle crosses over. Press the left knee away gently. Breathe into that outer hip. As we age, we lose rotation in our hips, and our lower back and bladder pay the price. By restoring just a little bit of this rotation every evening, you take a massive load off your urinary system. It's a small investment of time for a huge return in sleep quality. Exercise number 2, mobility, pelvic tilt and bridge. Return your foot to the bed so both feet are flat. We're going to mobilize the pelvis with a pelvic tilt into a gentle bridge. First, the tilt. Imagine a marble on your belly button. Tilt your pelvis back to roll the marble toward your chest, flattening your back against the bed. Then, tilt it forward, arching the back slightly. Do this a few times. This is flossing the spine. Now, on the next backward tilt, press into your heels and peel your hips up just a few inches. We don't need a high bridge, just enough to engage the glutes. Squeeze your buttocks gently, hold for 3 seconds, and lower down slowly, one vertebra at a time. Why are we doing this? Because weak glutes are an epidemic in the 60-plus population. When your glutes are weak, your pelvic floor has to work overtime to stabilize your core. It becomes exhausted and tight. By waking up the glutes, we allow the pelvic floor to stop gripping and finally relax. Also, this pumping motion helps move stagnant lymphatic fluid out of the pelvic bowl, encouraging better circulation and drainage before you sweep. Exercise number 1, the medical hack, the fluid drain. we have arrived at the final and scientifically the most important movement for stopping nighttime urination. This is the fluid drain. If you take nothing else away from this video, please remember this. During the day, gravity pulls fluid down into your legs and ankles. This is called edema. You might not even see it, but it's there. When you lie down to sleep, gravity is no longer holding that fluid down. It rushes back into your bloodstream, your kidneys filter it, and about 90 minutes after you fall asleep, your bladder is full. We are going to beat biology with physics. Elevate your legs. You can put them up against a wall, rest them on a stack of pillows, or just hold them up in the air. Your feet need to be higher than your heart. Now, pump your ankles. Point your toes to the ceiling, then flex them hard toward your face. Do this vigorously. Pump and flex. Pump and flex. You are manually activating the calf muscle pump. Your calves act as a second heart, pumping that venous blood and fluid back toward your core to be processed. By doing this right now, before you go to sleep, you are forcing your kidneys to process that fluid while you are still awake. You will likely need to use the bathroom one last time before bed, but that means you won't be waking up to do it at 3 a.m. I recommend doing this for at least 60 seconds every night about an hour before bed. It is simple, but the impact on your sleep cycle is profound. You can slowly lower your legs now. Lie still for a moment and feel the difference in your body. Your hips should feel looser, your back flatter, your mind quieter. We have addressed the muscles, the nerves, and the fluid dynamics. But remember, this is a practice, not a magic trick. These tissues didn't get tight overnight, and they won't fully release in one session. But if you commit to this, if you take responsibility for your body and do this routine for 7 days straight, you are gonna see a change. Couple this routine with smart hydration. Try to stop drinking heavy fluids 2 hours before bed, but make sure you hydrate well in the morning and afternoon. Dehydration can actually irritate the bladder more, so don't just stop drinking water. Just change when you drink it. You have the tools now. You understand your body better than you did 10 minutes ago. Now it's up to you to use this knowledge. Sleep well, breathe deep, and take care of yourself.